Happy Sunday, everybody. How's it going tonight? Hope everybody had a relaxing weekend. I know that we've got a holiday coming up tomorrow for most people, and I hope everybody uses the time wisely for whatever they may need to accomplish. What I wanted to talk about tonight was just the fact that chaos looms. And some of us are in better positions than others. Some of those positions being geographically, economically, health wise, etc. But the amount of chaos that I think we have coming our way is going to get worse and be compounded as we go through the months of winter here coming up. One, I think that the left knows that they're done as far as relying on voters with scruples. I think they understand that their goose is cooked. That being said, I think they are savvy enough, unfortunately, to have a strategy which will require mail-in voting to continue. I think that's the key for them. If they don't have mail-in voting, and plus, they don't win elections. It's that simple. And we all know that they're willing to do whatever it takes to win elections. And I'm not excluding necessarily the other party. So a lot of them are, birds of the same feather, unfortunately. So with this chaos that looms, the first one I think is being economic. You can go pick a ton of sites or, YouTube channels to go check out. Alaska Prepper, Pinball Preparedness, Pinball Prepping, Prepper Nation. There's just all kinds of good, sources of information out there. Zombie Farmer, Hill Country Prepper. There's tons of people out there that I think you can rely on for useful and reliable information with, sort of some of the same stuff that I talk about. I'm, of course, a smaller type channel, obviously, but I watch those channels quite frequently. And there's a whole bunch more that I haven't mentioned here, but those are some of the primary channels that I watch. However, getting back to this chaotic situation that we find ourselves in, and I think it's going to be compounded and, quite frankly, continue because, again, there has to be a reason for mail-in voting here with the left, or they're just not going to win elections. I just think it's that simple. Now, let's give the stupid American voters their credit. They've done us a huge disservice by saddling us with this moron Biden for 4 years. And I also firmly believe that there's a 25th Amendment in its future, and there's a lot of conniving taking place behind the scenes. I firmly believe that within his own caucus to make moves, because I think they know that their goose is cooked. So with regard to economics, job losses, it's a domino effect, right? So you have lack of labor, you have the laborers the labor that is out there and available demands a higher wage. So, companies' costs are going up, not only on the labor market, but on the goods side. So they're unable to function. And there's no use in being in business if you can't make a profit. So you're going to see businesses shuttering, and you've already seen some of that. Businesses are shutting down. They're done. They're out because they can't make profit. So job losses across the board, lack of labor. Those are two of the main things that are attributing to the economic situation. Plus, You could throw in the caveat of, where we get most of our stuff from, the big C, shutting down the airports and unable to, ship goods as usual. So they're pretty much getting us from both ends on this deal. You also have the military impact, right? You have all the exercises that are taking place, the penetration testing that's taking place in all corners of the world. You've got a lot of turbulence. You've got a lot of bending of the knee. You've got a lot of flexing of the muscles. So I would expect some sort of dust up or military impact to affect your life in some capacity going forward, whether it's here or abroad. I would just prepare for that. So with economics and the military impact, there's also the Rona and other medical hardships. Hell, flu season's right around the corner. So you've got medical hardships with regard to the pinch, the Rona, plus, variants coming here and there. Again, it all ties back into the need for mail-in voting and destruction of economies around the world. I don't think for a second that this is accidental. I firmly believe that this was an intentional act of war against the majority of the world. The big C, they needed to clean house anyway and probably thin the herd somewhat, which is not out of the realm of possibility in my opinion. So win-win for them, I guess. So that brings me to the final topic of tonight's video. And obviously it's regard to preps, right? You see all these shortages going on all over the United States. In my area where I'm at, it's not so vivid right now, I don't think, because we've got an open economy, Texas. For the most part, we've got an open and free economy. Things are moving. There's not been a lot of issues with regards to logistics. So getting stuff delivered has proven to be, I would say, not very catastrophic as compared to some other places in the United States. So your preps, don't lose sight of that. All right. We never know when the incident's going to pick us, right? We can't pick and choose when we have an incident or when we have, issues. We can only try to defend against them, and that involves, preparing yourself with, edibles, with medical supplies, with 2A items, etc. So with the 2A items, you need to go times 10 right now. If it's available, I would buy it. As long as it's not stupid crazy and you can afford it, buy what you can afford. Okay? Trade for stuff. If somebody's overstocked on, maybe a guy or a gal's got a whole bunch of extra freedom seeds and you've got a whole bunch of extra this or that. Maybe you could do a swap or a trade. That's bartering. That's part of the prepper community. That's part of the prepper, methodology, is to be able to barter and trade for things. So keep that in mind. But on the 2A items, all facets, all food groups, don't stop. Times 10. Foot on the gas. As far as other preps with regard to food, I'm sort of leaning against the heavy on the canned goods stuff. I think one area in canned goods that you should probably focus on is canned fruit. Fruit in the form of fresh produce, it's just horrible now. I mean, the quality sucks. It's going way up in price. If you don't eat it within 2 days, it's bad. It's just horrible for the most part. I know you can probably get some organic stuff that's a little bit better if you can afford it, But I would really focus, if I were you, I would focus on, as far as fruits go, I would focus on the canned variety or the freeze-dried or the dried fruit variety. And something that's going to last a while. And, we need that stuff, especially children. They need fruits. and maybe stock up on some canned fruit if you can get your hands on it at a decent price. And also, tailing on the back of that, I've also kind of gone to the method of just add water stuff like protein powders, powdered milk, and other survival foods that you reconstitute with water. I think it makes a lot of sense. You know, you can collect water from rain. You can collect water from water sources on the ground. There's a lot of ways that you can collect water if you don't have a fresh water source into your home. And I'll probably do a video on rainwater collection here, and not too long. Just I want to share some of my ideas on that with you, but I really would focus on, as far as foods go right now. I don't know what your situation is, but I would stock up on canned fruit and the just add water things like protein powders, powdered milk, maybe some powdered soups and such, things like that you got, ramen, things like that. A lot of canned goods are going to go bad on people, and they don't turn them over like they should, as far as say canned chili or canned meat, things like that. And you're just wasting your money a lot of times. So, with that, I hope everybody is paying attention. It's just getting wackier and wackier, it seems like, as we go through the weeks here. So I would not waste any time. I would get on the things you need to get on, fill the holes, get your medical supplies up to speed, and all your preps accordingly. So with that, keep prepping, stack it deep. Long live the Republic.